together is fun. Fun, 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 fun. Hello friends and welcome to our channel.
Hello friends. So let's look at the flower today, Aditi.
Okay.
You have seen the flowers, right? They are of different colors, different shapes, different sizes. Have you ever wondered why these flowers are so beautiful and colorful?
No.
Okay. So let's see what is the main purpose of flower and what is the reason that they are so colorful.
Okay.
Okay. So first look at the parts of flowers. So what are the main parts of flower? If you look at a flower, it looks like something like this, okay? Now this is the stalk which connects it to the stem, right? And this is also called pedicel. Okay? And this part, platform like, this is called thalamus.
Okay.
Then we have the different layers, like the outermost is called calyx, or the small green type of leaves, small leaves kind of at the base of the flower, those are called calyx. Then the next one is the more colorful layer, which is called corolla. Then, so these are all the petals. Then we have androecium. So this is the male reproductive part of the flower.
Okay.
We'll look the details in the next slide. And the next one is gynoecium. Okay.
Okay.
Now, so these are the main parts of the flower. So this one is a more detailed diagram, so it can give you more detailed information. Now the outer part, these sepals, so these are the part of the calyx which we discussed. Okay. Then you have these petals, which are the part of the corolla. And then these, you see these filaments with the pollen grain. So this is the anther, as you can see here, this is the anther, and it contains the pollen grains. So these male reproductive parts are called stamen.
Okay.
This female reproductive part is made up of pistil. This whole is pistil. Here you can see this whole structure is pistil. And this top one is called stigma. This tube-like structure is style. And this part contains the ovules or the egg. So this is what the structure of a flower is.
Okay.
Typical structure. Not all flowers may have everything, okay? There are some flowers in which you have only the male reproductive part, and there are some flowers in which you have only female reproductive part. That is also possible, and we call those flowers as unisexual flowers.
Okay.
So this is a typical example of a bisexual flower where you have both male and female reproductive part on the same flower. Now pollination. So what happens during the pollination? Any idea?
Pollen grains are transferred.
Right. Pollen grains are transferred to the stigma of a flower. Now, so the pollen grains actually are transferred. Now, it is possible that these pollen grains are transferred on another flower of the same plant, okay, or on the same flower. In that case, it is called self-pollination. So, if this is a plant and you have a flower here, we have pollens, and say this is style. So, if it is happening on the same flower, then it is called self-pollination. also if it is happening on another flower of the same plant, then also it is self-pollination. Okay.
Okay.
So this is also self-pollination, and if it is between two different plants, then it is called cross-pollination. So you understand the difference between cross-pollination and self-pollination?
Yes.
Okay. Now how this can happen? This transfer. So if it is on a same flower, it is easier, right? Like by wind also it can happen. So let's look at the agents of the pollination, those which help this pollination process. So what are the different agents? So wind. Now what happens when wind blows? Some of the pollen grain can get transferred to the
Another
stigma of a flower. So wind can be the agent. Then you can have water. So the plants which grow inside water or which grow near water, they get pollinated by water as well. So in the plants growing inside water, obviously water is the main agent. And then animals. Animals also help in pollination. So you have insects, you have bees, butterfly, and the insects which move like ants. So they all help in the pollination. Even bigger animals also help in the pollination.
Okay.
Okay. So now wind, water, these cannot see the color or cannot smell the flower. But when it comes to animals, they can see the flowers and smell them. So to attract those animals, the flowers have got different colors or different kind of smell. So that more insects come towards them and help them to pollinate.
Okay.
Now how a bee can pollinate? Any idea?
A bee will come and get its nectar, and the pollen grains will get stuck to its body.
Yeah, the body is hairy. So it gets stuck to its body and it sits on different flower. So that way those get transferred. And different animals have different preference of flowers. Okay. For example, bees, they cannot see the red color. They see it as black. So most of the red flowers are pollinated by birds. Even the white, that because they have a different spectrum, vision spectrum, so white flowers appear as violet to these insects, and they like violet color. So there is a lot of science behind the colors. Be the not only the colors, the smell. There are some flowers which attract only the nocturnal insects. So those are like white flowers. And there are some insects which only work, like wasp, which appear when there is less light. So even during the night when we sleep, the pollination is happening. Okay, let's move ahead. What happens after the pollination? So after the pollination, your flower withers, or it forms a fruit. And what does the fruit contain?
Seed.
Right. So after the pollination, what we call is fertilization, that happens. And embryo is produced. Now to keep an embryo safe, what we have? We have a fruit. So purpose of the fruit is mainly to keep the
Embryo safe.
to keep the seeds safe. So now there can be different type of fruits. Some can be pulpy fruits, or some like pea. You don't have any pulp. The seeds are directly inside the outer covering. So the main purpose, as we have seen, of the flowers is to get the flower pollination done, to get the seeds, and seeds help in the in the propagation of the plant. So if you see a life cycle of plant, it starts with the seed and then it grows up. It goes through the whole life cycle and then it dies out. So during this life cycle, it produces multiple seeds so that new plants can come up. Okay. Do you want me to quickly give you an idea of the structure of the seed as well?
Yes.
Okay, let me do that. So, if this is a seed, it's too big actually.
It can be a mango seed.
Yeah. So, seed, say it is inside a fruit. Okay. There are, the outside layer of the fruit is called epicarp. So, this is...
So the skinny layer?
Yeah. So, this is epicarp. The middle layer is mesocarp.
The fleshy part?
The fleshy part, and the inner layer is called endocarp.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a quick introduction about the seeds. And all three together, these are called pericarp. So do you have any questions?
No, I don't.
Did you find this interesting?
Yeah.
Okay, so if there are no more questions, then you go and start your preparation of the chapter, and we'll meet again next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye. And friends, if you like the channel, don't forget to click on like and subscribe button.